All right, so welcome to another edition of Why This Is a Great Spiritual Song. Today we have Country Roads by John Denver. Now, Country Roads by John Denver came out in 1971. And if you haven't heard it before, I recommend listening to it first before you listen to my interpretation. And again, this is just my interpretation of this song, my spiritual interpretation of this song. All right. So I'm going to go through the lyrics and then give you my little spiel. Okay. This is a song about, in my mind, this is a song about yearning to wake up, wanting to wake up, wanting to wake up spiritually. All right, let's begin. Almost Heaven, West Virginia, Blue Ridge Mountain, Shenandoah River. Life is old there, older than the trees, younger than the mountain, growing like a breeze. All right, so almost heaven. Heaven is a thought form, a place, right? So it's actually beyond heaven. Okay, this is a this they're talking. He's talking about your eternal truth. It's not really heaven because heaven is traditionally a thought form. Symbolically, it could be heaven, as in your eternal truth, nirvana, whatever you want to call it. It actually, if I were to rewrite these lyrics, it would be, it's beyond heaven. It's beyond heaven. It's beyond time. It's beyond a place. It's emptiness. It's, the eternal now, the Tao, right? It's not a place. It's everywhere and nowhere, right? It's nothingness, silence, but it's full of everything and form. Emptiness is form, form is emptiness. So it transcends the idea of heaven. Got my little notes here in front of me. Blue Ridge Mountain. So mountains symbolize higher level of consciousness. We'll go to the high level of consciousness, awakening, enlightenment to your eternal truth. That's the high level of consciousness. You hear traffic. I'm sort of at a little park in the middle of a roundabout, so you see all these cars going by, so that's why you hear the traffic. And so mountains symbolize high level of consciousness, attaining the high level of consciousness. In mythology, like Moses goes to the mountain, Noah, his ark lands on a mountain, so mythological. The mountain, in the Himalayas, the sages would go to the Himalayas, to Tibet and everything, Nepal, to become enlightened. So it's symbolic, although maybe literally they went there. Shenandoah River. Now, this is interesting because I looked up Shenandoah, what the name means, and it's a Native American, they think it's Algonquin, but it means beautiful daughters of the stars. Beautiful daughter of the stars. So I just think that's perfect, because that's you and me and everybody. We are all beautiful sons and daughters of light, stars symbolizing light. So we are all We are all the offsprings, the manifestation of light, of source, of God, of eternal oneness, the Tao, whatever you want to call it. So I just thought that was so interesting, so perfect. I just realized I skipped over West Virginia. So West Virginia, Virginia symbol, the name Virginia is virgin. Virgin symbolizes purity. Okay, it symbolizes clear. It's not defiled, and defiled means, in my interpretation, means clouded over. It means delusion. Okay, it means not seeing correctly, right? So the purity, that's where what we want. We want just what this is, right? It's clear. This moment, this eternal now moment. You are a clean mirror. You are a mirror. No grasping, no greed, no hatred. It's just, it is what it is. You know, it's, you see things for what from a pure standpoint. Enlightened masters see things from purity. Okay, so that's what West Virginia symbolizes. Life is old there, older than the trees, younger than the mountain, growing like a breeze. So in a way, this sounds to me like the Tao. Life is old there, it's old, and it's young, old and young, yin and yang, you know, yin and yang, old and young, world of form, yet it's beyond that. So it could seem old. I mean, on the spiritual path, you know, the old, the ancient, this wisdom, it seems ancient wisdom, right? But when you experience it, it seems young, it seems fresh, right? And when you do experience, it's growing like a breeze. It grows in you, and it, like the breeze is in the now. It's in the now, and it's kind of, you sense it, you feel it. And the breeze, you can't see it. You can't see a breeze, right? But you could feel it, right? And that's the Tao. That's the oneness, right? All right, so we go to the famous chorus, Country Roads, take me home to the place I belong. West Virginia, Mountain Mama, take me home, country roads. All right, so country roads symbolizes to me, well, first, the road is your path. The road is the path to enlightenment, the path to oneness, right? Everybody has their path. Everybody has their Tao. You have your path, I have my path. Everybody has their path, right? However, country roads. Well, let me go to Take Me Home. Take me home. Let me go home. Before I explain country, let me go to Take Me Home to the place I belong. So take me home to the place I belong. I love this. This is like Rumi. It's like Rumi. That famous Rumi quote. The one who brought me here must take me home. Right? The one who brought me here must take me home. So take me home. So it's kind of bhakti, it's kind of yearning. It's like, take me home, source, bring me back home. The one who brought me here must take me home. So take me home, you know, and I'll get into how, but you know, surrender, the ego death, all that stuff, being present, all that stuff is taking me home, right? So you're yearning. So this is a song for yearning to awaken and then deepen, because even if after your awakening you're take me home again. I'm back in ego consciousness. Take me home, and this could take years and blah blah blah. Okay, so take me home to the place I belong. Country roads. Now, country roads to me, the country symbolizes the simple. The country. It's simple. It's at ease. It's not like urban. The cities. It's busy, right? City, urbane. Also, the urban also is urbane. It also means like there's people hugging each other. Don't hit me. See, I'm in the urban. See the busyness of the city. You see cars going by. You see people going by, right? It also urbane. It's also like you're thinking, intellectualizing the more sophisticated, right? And this is why a lot of sages and they talk about, get rid of the mind. You could learn things but you got to let it go at one time. Okay. I'm not saying learning things and studying, reading a lot of what sages say. It can be very helpful in understanding, but you can get caught up in it. You can get caught up in, okay, I'm going to I'm going to read all the spiritual books, and that's going to get me enlightened. You could become attached to it. You could become a very learned spiritual person, right? And never awaken. I mean, there's a lot of spiritual teachers out there who are very learned, but they haven't really awakened. They haven't come to know their eternal truth, right? So that's a potential roadblock. That's why they talk, the true sages talk about it's simple. Be simple. Just be here now, right? So country road. So the path always leads back to country roads. In nature, right? The country, it's nature. It's simple. You're just here now, right? And as you develop, you could have a country road mentality. If you live in a city, you could still have a country roads mentality, a path of simple. All right, just be simple. Just right, because that's what awakening is. That's what your eternal truth is. It's very simple, right? It's here. It is here right now. It's this moment, and it's the emptiness behind this moment, right? The place I belong. So take me home to the place I belong. Your true eternal plate, your home, right? This is, so we the ego consciousness, we live in separation consciousness, right? The place I don't belong. That's why there's suffering. That's why you feel alienated. Your true home, the place I belong, right, is the eternal now, the nirvana, the Tao, whatever you want to call it, Buddha nature, Christ consciousness. So country roads take me home. So country road is the path of simplicity, right? Of just being here now. And then it's the place I belong. West Virginia, Mountain Mama. Again, just repeating what I said earlier, mountain mama, you know, the mountains, higher level of consciousness. Take me home, country roads, right? All right. Let's see if I pass anything up. Okay. The next verse. All my memories gather round her. Miner's lady, stranger to blue waters. Dark and dusty, painted on the sky. Misty taste of moonshine, teardrop in my eye. All right, so all my memories of my true self, of my true eternal self, you know, gather is around her. Her meaning my true home, okay, symbolically. You know, the my eternal self. Nirvana. And there's a deep yearning. So all my memories, all my, in this life, past life, so there's a deep yearning for my true self, right? And that's a really good meditation. If you live in a city, you just imagine this. It's simple. We get so caught up in the busyness, in the noise of the city, and it's just be with it. Be in deep acceptance, and then you'll find how simple it is. It's actually very simple. We make it complex. All my memories, so this life and past lifetimes. So you have a yearning inside you to remember the memory of yourself, right? That's why in a lot of us, you get on the spiritual path because there's a yearning, because you have deep embedded memories of your true eternal self, right? That's why a lot of us go on the spiritual path, because you forgot when we came into this incarnation. We forget. There's a forgetfulness, right? So we're yearning, we want to remember, we want to go back home to the place where we belong. Now this is cool stuff. Miner's lady, stranger to blue waters. So I'll just read the rest. Dark and dusty, painted on the sky. Okay, so West Virginia is coal country, is, you know, going underneath, going deep into the earth, and going into dark places, right? So being underground, being in a dark place. So the reason my memories, I can't remember of the purity of my true eternal self, is because I'm in a dark place, right? That's dark and dusty. It says dark and dusty, and it's painted on the sky. You see dark and dusty painted on the sky. The blue, so it's symbolic of the blue sky is dark and dusty, the clear blue sky of consciousness. So these are, in Buddhism, I guess they call them defilements or veils, whatever, in Hindu, I don't know. But these are armor. We can't see the ego. This is egoic consciousness. We can't see our true light because we're dark and dusty, the ego. Miner's lady, stranger to blue waters. See, we become strangers to the ocean, to the ocean of consciousness, to eternal truth, right? We become strangers to the ocean of devotion, of blue waters, which symbolizes our eternal truth. Misty taste of moonshine, teardrops in my eyes. So it's like You're, we sort of drown our sorrows in the intoxication of egoic consciousness, being busy and being, asleep, and we keep playing the ego games, and yet we suffer and we have teardrops in our eyes, right? So that's what I came up with that. Because we're trapped in egoic consciousness, and we want to be free on deep levels. Everybody wants to be free on a deep level, even though they don't. Some won't pursue it in this in this lifetime or in past lifetimes, right? For whatever reason, I'm pursuing it in this lifetime. Maybe I pursued it in a past lifetime. I don't know. I'm not sure. But for whatever reason, I'm doing it in this lifetime. But not everybody's going to do it in this lifetime. The eternal now is here. Drop the ego. Drop the mind game. Drop grasping, being identified with everything. We see things through the projection of the ego. Enemies and judgments and criticism and even likes and dislikes, and we get attached to them. So you give that up. It's simple. It's a country road. So the country road path, this is what it's about. So there's another chorus, and then we have the bridge. I love this bridge. I hear her voice in the morning hour. She calls me. The radio reminds me of my home far away. Driving down the road, I get the feeling that I should have been home yesterday. So I just love this. I hear her voice in the morning. It's oftentimes in the morning, or 2:00 in the morning, 3, we wake up. We have these little moments of peace, and if we really just keep meditating on it, we could have openings, right? We have insights because it's quiet and it's peaceful, and it's sort of like we're in a simple place, right? We're on a country road. It's simple, where it's just us and the bed, and the lights are off, and we're not, but then the mind comes on, and then we're thinking, oh God, I got to wake up tomorrow morning and do this, and I'm still blah blah blah. But oftentimes a lot of artists, they get inspired in the morning, right, at that time. So to me, this is a metaphor for meditation. You hear the voice in the morning hour. She calls me. So the voice to awaken in the morning hour. So the morning hour metaphorically can be actually any time, because the eternal now is accessible at any time, not just the morning, right? But the morning symbolizes here, right now. And she calls you. Hello, whatever your name is. I'm here. This is the now. And it's a whisper, right? That's why it's so simple. It's a whisper. It's here right now. This is God. This is Source. This is Buddha nature. I'm here right now, right? She calls for you. So I just love that. And I'm always here. And if you're not ready here, if you wake up at 2:00 in the morning or 3:00 in the morning, and you have a brief moment of peace, nirvana, and you're like, wow, but the mind takes over, and you're like, oh, okay, I gotta, I'm upset about what my spouse said or what this person said, or I'm worrying about my job tomorrow, blah, 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 blah. That's okay. I'll still be here. I'll always be here whenever, you're ready to um, return to the place where you belong, when you take the path of the country road, right? Because in a way, getting caught up in the busyness of your mind is also not is also like being in the city, right? So I hear her voice in the morning hour. She calls me. I just love that. The radio reminds me of my home far away. So the radio to me symbolizes the distractions. Everything, just the city life all around me, right? Your busy life. I got to do this. I got, you got to schedule, blah, 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 blah. You're filled every day. The radio, social media, so the radio, just distractions, right? So we're being distracted all day, right? And it reminds me, especially people new on the path, that my home, my true eternal self is far away. Because you could feel like that in the beginning when you go on the spiritual path, like, God, I'm so far away from peace and my true eternal self, and emptiness of meditation is very hard. And so the distractions, so the radio symbolizes distractions of everyday life that keeps you from waking up. And it feels like you're far away, but it's not. It's right here. You see, that's the joke. That's a cosmic joke, is that you think it's far away, you think it's out there. It's right here. It's right here. It's here. It's here. It's closer than you think. You ever think. There's a saying, I realize that the one that I've been looking for has been looking for me, right? It's here. You are it. You are that. You are it. And after you awaken, you realize that it's always been here. It's always been here. You just didn't see it. You weren't ready for it. You didn't recognize it because your mind thinks it's fireworks. Your mind thinks it's something urbane or something more sophisticated, more complex, like city life, right? Not a country life where it's simple, right? It's just simple. Here being West Virginia, the mountain, the higher consciousness is simple, right? But the mind, we make it to be something more complex. Driving down the road, so going down the path, so you're back on the path, you get the feeling that you should have been home yesterday. I just love this because it's like you realize that it's here now, that you could have been home. People have been on the path for years and years and years, and maybe one day they get a realization that, oh, it's here right now, and darn it, it's here right now, and Satori, it's simple. It's not a firework, but I was just saying, Satori. Oh man, this could have happened to me. It could seem like yesterday, but I missed. But we all go on our path, and we all have our. It happens when it happens. And I remember, and I've mentioned this before many of times, that I've had spiritual awakenings in my childhood, in my teens, in my 20s, that were very powerful, but it just didn't stick. And and I even wrote about them at a couple times, or I told people about them, but I didn't know what was happening. It didn't stick. It didn't happen until my mid 30s to one where it stuck, right? To where it was where I it happened accidentally, but it was, I was just a country road where I was jogging. I said a prayer about somebody, and I let go, surrendered, and it was just simple. And then it was like, oh wow, oh my God, and then, oh my God, it's so simple, right? And then depending on your karma or whatever, it could seem at times very powerful, and it did for me too. A few, I don't know, countless times in the beginning, especially where it kind of rocked me, but it's very simple. So country road, and then we continue. There's more choruses. So this is the way. Country roads. It's simple. Be simple, and you could use this song as a devotional song, bhakti, as a prayer, almost like, take me home, source, to the place I belong. Take me home, source, bring me back home to my true eternal self, to the purity, Virginia, to the higher level of consciousness, Mountain Mama. Take me home, please. So you could do an intention. You could do, please take me home, and just keep that, and then keep surrendering, and keep being simple and being present, and and everything must go too. Is the ego dies, so you're just like, the identity, yourself. It's like, I am no more. Because these are veils. These are the dark and dusty, where they talk about dark and dusty painted on the sky, the coal. It's like burning coal, right? Or the ego is like burning coal, and, coal in the pollution in the sky, and it's blocking the blue sky, the clear of your consciousness, right? So you let go of that. And then it dissipates, and then the blue sky of the eternal now reveals itself. So I just closed my notebook. So that's it. Country Roads is a great spiritual song. So hopefully this has been helpful. Love you. And until we meet again next time, got a little music in the background. It's not country music, but it's great music anyways. In the country roads, take me home of this beautiful now moment.